Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Big Swing Fitness Podcast, the podcast dedicated to helping you improve your golf game through golf fitness. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about the RBC Heritage Classic. We'll get a little bit into the Lotte Championship, and we'll briefly cover, I think, maybe the most exciting or interesting topic outside of the two tournaments that were this weekend was maybe Rory McIlroy's $3 million hit. We'll talk a little bit more about that and get into the main focus of this episode, which is strength training for golfers. And we'll probably touch on a little bit about functional exercise as well. So today wrapped up the RBC Heritage Classic. It was a pretty exciting match. I didn't get to catch too much of the first few days, but today Jordan Spieth and Matt Fitzpatrick pulled out quite an entertaining tournament. It went to about 3 playoff holes, I believe it was, where Matt Fitzpatrick ended up taking it over defending champion Jordan Spieth. He's been playing really well, and he played another great tournament this week. But Matt Fitzpatrick, in front of all his family, pulled it out on the 3rd playoff hole. He stuck one from the fairway, nearly holed it out. Just a little tap-in birdie on the 18th hole, won the tournament. It was great to see him embracing his family after the tournament. But it was tough. I saw Jordan Spieth. He had a chance on the first 2 playoff holes to clinch it. But he had one heartbreaking lip out. You can see his expression. Man, he thought that was going in all the way. Then secondly, on the 2nd playoff hole, he hit it close. I think it was within 10 feet, something like that. And he almost holed it. He just came up a little short. You can see the putt broke off right at the end. It just needed 1 or 2 more revolutions, a little more speed, and that probably would have went in. But as close as you can get it without going in. But unfortunately, it wasn't his day today. It was Matt Fitzpatrick's day, and hell of a tournament for him. What can I say? It was pretty good. Else who I would say was pretty good this weekend was Patrick Cantlay. He did a great job this week. He's been playing well. I believe he had a good week last week as well. Patrick Cantlay is just a good young player. It's good to see these guys out there and doing well. Yeah, I think for the RBC, it was just a good week. It's always a great tournament over at Harbour Town, I believe it is. I haven't played there myself, but I have played on the golf simulator. It's a great course. And it was a great week for golf, and it was definitely an exciting final finish. On the LPGA Tour, we had another great one. It went to another playoff. It was a playoff between Eugene Sung, Yu Liu, and the winner, Grace Kim. Grace Kim's a rookie. This is her 3rd start as a rookie, and she's already got her first win. So hats off to her. She got to do her little hula at the end as the tradition for the Lotte tournament out in Hawaii. But what can I say about Grace Kim? She was great. She had a great putting down the stretch. She hit some amazing putts. She admitted that, I believe that shot on 18 that just went a little bit wide of the green there, but she still closed out and ended up making a birdie on that hole to win the playoff. So hats off to her. She did a great job. She's a young Aussie. She shot 68 on the final day. So bright things ahead for her. Going into the first couple of tournaments this year, you can see a lot of young players on both tours are starting to play really well. And I think something like, I forget the stats, something between a lot of the winners right now are between the ages of 22 and 27 on at least on the men's tour, I think it was. That's pretty good for them. But it was a great tournament all around from what I can see. A lot of players had chances to make it to the playoff at least. The 3 girls who ended up making the playoffs going to 12 under. But I think maybe 5 or 6, I forget exactly, were 11 under, 10 under. They're all within a couple of shots. So going down the stretch, it was actually pretty exciting to catch. I did catch the end of it there. So it was pretty good. And all around, great tournament. Lotte tournament is usually a great tournament. Next, I guess I'll touch on, what can I say? Probably have to talk about Rory McIlroy and him withdrawing from the RBC Heritage Tournament after the Masters. I don't want to make assumptions. I'm assuming he was just a rough Masters as it was for him, and he needs some time to work out his game. But unfortunately, there's until 2024, I believe it is. They they have mandatory tournaments for the PIP, the Players Impact Program, which he's now lost $3 million off of a potential $12 million, I believe it was, that he would have been getting from fulfilling all his PIP responsibilities. But unfortunately, he already withdrew from one tournament this year. I believe it was the Century Tournament of Champions, to be exact, at Kapalua. And so therefore, given those strats and not until 2024, I don't think it's going to be mandatory to have these a set amount of tournaments that you have to play for it. So he had to pay the fine. What can you do? I guess it is what it is. They want to get these players playing in some of these tournaments, and they're putting up money. And if you don't play, you're going to lose out on some potential cash. Sure, he knows that, and he did what he did. He's going to do what's best for him and his game. And what can you say? But again, I'm sure he'll be back. I don't think he's playing in the next tournament. I heard something like he's not going to be playing until next month. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what tournament that is. I think it might be the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow. I believe that is the next tournament he said he's going to play. So yeah, it'll be a little while. I'm sure he's going to be burning the midnight oil, trying to work on every aspect of his game, and probably just try to also relax and come down after that rough Masters. Rory McIlroy, what can you say? He's a great player, and I'm sure he'll be back. He's number 3 in the world. So, he knows how to win, and I'm sure he'll be playing great golf again pretty soon. Yeah, so now we're going to get into the fitness portion of this podcast, and maybe the main focus of this podcast, which is going to be strength training for golfers. Basically, in this episode, we're going to cover the benefits, give you some examples of how to do it, some theories, some approaches to take to your strength training, some benefits to strength training. And I would say to start off, we'll talk about some of the benefits. And of course, if you're training your strength training, it's likely that you're going to get some power increases just by your ability to generate force through the ground. And I would say it's really important to do various types of strength training, because it's going to, like I said, it's going to improve all these aspects. You increase your power, improve your accuracy, and most importantly, outside of the flashy, being able to hit longer drives and more accurate shots, would be reducing the risk of injury. You're just going to strengthen your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, and this is really going to help reduce any chance of injury. It's actually very important to do, strengthening those things, get those stabilizer muscles, strengthen all the muscles maybe that are not your primary muscles to be also strengthened, so that you have a complete package when you go to hit shots and rip bombs down the fairway. An example of some strengthening exercises for golfers would be regular exercises that you'll normally do in the gym, but are actually very good for golf. So we're going to start off talking about deadlifts. You can do it with a trap bar just to save the back if you have one at your gym or your home. This exercise is really good for your posterior chain, which includes lower back muscles and your glutes and your hamstrings. It's really good for helping you to maintain stability. I would say another good exercise is the Russian twists. Of course, you're building your core and your core musculature. It's also helping you a little bit with the maintaining a solid core while doing rotational moves. So those are really good. Of course, another great exercise is doing push-ups. You are also strengthening your chest and your upper body, but you're also, while you're in that move, building up your core strength and your stability, which is going to help you with control throughout your golf swing. Some other good ones, maybe standing cable rotations. This is another good exercise to work with the core and help you promote a strong and stable golf swing. And then maybe do some goblet squats. I'm huge on doing all kinds of squats in my own training. Squats are actually great for weight loss. You're using those big muscles that burn a lot of calories while you're using them. It's really good for all aspects of fitness, and you use your legs every day for walking, hopefully. And so I'd say goblet squats, you can do them with a dumbbell. You can do them with a kettlebell. Again, kettlebells, I think, are a great investment. Just another great exercise for all around fitness. And so I would say those are probably some of the key exercises, general exercises you want to do to add to your general fitness routine. And those are the exercises that you can do that are not really golf specific functional exercises, which I'll talk about a couple of those just now. But those are exercises that will really help you improve the musculature and the strength that you need to get more power, drive more force through the ground, build up your core, and just get a real strong and stable base all around. I would say don't forget to include a warm-up exercise before you do any strength training. If you watch the first podcast that I did, I talked about corrective exercises. And if you follow me on Instagram or you've seen on my YouTube shorts, I probably have put up already by this time a little short circuit. It's just a one circuit explanation or a little one circuit demonstration of a quick corrective exercise routine you can use. You just repeat that one circuit 2 to 3 times, maybe 2 to 3 times per week. And you can use that as a warm up before a round of golf, or you can use that as a warm up before getting into your strength training. It's just great to do to really warm up the body and stretch out and work these key muscles and these key moves for better mobility, flexibility, and to really prime the body for, again, what I mentioned before, just really priming the body for more intense workout. Next, I probably want to talk about functional exercises, right? So functional exercises are just more exercises that are golf specific. If you ever looked up golf exercises, which is something that you might have done beforehand and maybe why you're here. And when you think of golf fitness, usually you're going to see people telling you more about functional exercises. And some great functional exercises that I would suggest. Again, functional exercises are just exercises that mimic the golf swing. So you might want to start with something like a cable wood chop, which is just a great rotational exercise. It works your entire core, simulating the movement of the golf swing. You might want to do medicine ball rotation throws, which is another great and explosive thing. It's something that we're going to cover more in the power phase of my discussion, maybe next week or maybe 2 weeks from now, where I might get into more power training, and there's a lot of things like slams and throws. But so this helps you with, it's a good explosive exercise to help build up your power and your speed and targeting the obliques and the hips and the shoulders. So it's really good. And again, if you watched my little demonstration video of a good corrective exercise routine, you'll see that I talked about the single leg Roman deadlift. And their RDLs are great exercise, focus on balance, stability. It really strengthens the hamstrings and the glutes, and it's good for helping you to maintain power during the golf swing. So I gotta say, Roman deadlifts, single leg RDL specifically, great exercise for golfers and definitely something you should add to your program. I believe that's everything I wanted to talk about so far this week. I hope you have a better understanding of golf fitness. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, or recommendations for how to improve the podcast, things you want to see me talk about more, get into depth on, just anything you want in general discussion, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section and I will try to read through them. This is only the second episode of the podcast. I'm hoping to keep this going for a long time. So let's try to build something great. Let me know what you think, and peace out.